to you by Bethel College School of Technology. Learn more at bethelcollege.edu/Ken. Is college worth what it used to be? You and I both agree, no. However, for the cynics, let's reset where we are today. Looking at this article from CNBC, college graduates are earning 37% more than those with only a high school diploma. So that is still the case, okay? However, as we will cover in our conversation today, that is changing rather rapidly. But as it stands today, all right, the colleges, universities aren't irrelevant yet, all right? And specifically, Ryan, students who pursue a major in science, technology, engineering, or math, known as STEM, they're projected to earn the most overall. So do you see that changing? Before we dive into some specifics, do you see STEM always holding kind of that edge as it relates to credibility and then actual income increase?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you look at where the highest growth is in terms of the job market over the next 10 years, it's overwhelmingly in STEM. Right. So, I mean, anywhere from 20 to 30% growth in things like cybersecurity, software development, data science. So that's not going away. Okay. And there's going to be about 1 million job shortfall in the next 5 years in tech jobs. So absolutely. In terms of entry point, the level of salary whenever you're a junior coming out of whatever school you're learning from, and then your growth opportunity. So STEM is definitely not going.
All right, so STEM is here to stay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't disagree with that. Here's some data I want to get to. This is interesting. Highest paying bachelor degrees in the U.S. Now, there's two numbers that we're going to talk through. The first number is early career. This is the average. And then mid-career. And the article doesn't really give us a number for mid-career. But I'm going to say that's what? Early 40s?
Yeah.
Right. So this is interesting. Number one, highest paying bachelor degree in the U.S., petroleum engineering. Starting out as an average salary of $98,100, growing to mid-career to $212,100. Thoughts on that? I don't even know what petroleum engineering is.
I mean, it's gas and oil, you know.
Okay, so engineers in the gas and oil.
Yeah, it's actually a little surprising, you know, the narrative around everything going to, electronic and especially on the vehicle side. But yeah, that's still staying strong.
Okay, very interesting. Next, number two, operations research and industrial engineering. Starting out 101,200, and then mid-career 202,600, so slightly lower than the petroleum engineering as it relates to mid-career. Mm-hmm. Operations research and industrial engineering. Break that down for me. What in the world is that?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at just kind of the mechanics of just like how organizations function, even on the industrial side. You've got what you're producing, even on the manufacturing side of that. Mechanical engineering would probably sit in there. So there's certainly value for these occupations, and there are certain degrees or certain ways of learning that at this point largely come from getting a 4-year degree.
All right, now this is the one I'm most interested in your opinion on. Okay, this is right up your wheelhouse. Electrical engineering and computer science. They put those together.
Yeah.
And the starting average salary there is $128,500, so the highest of the top three starting. Yeah. But mid-career, the lowest of the three, $192,300.
Yeah.
Okay. Two questions for you. Electrical engineering and computer science, they're combining those two.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Well, I mean, I think for the sake of for an article like this, when they're trying to put the top 10 together, and they'll combine.
Okay.
But I think
but traditionally they're not.
No.
Correct?
Yeah. I mean, you can really break them down.
Okay.
But I would say that's the one that is ripe for the most disruption.
I think you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where the education comes in, where you can have an accelerated learning program like Bethel Tech, where you're not spending 4 years, $300,000. And, because it's all contextualized, right? Like, if you're spending that much on an education, think about how much time it's going to take you to pay that back. But if you can have something that is 15 to 36 weeks long, it's not $300,000. It's anywhere from, $6,000 to $15,000, and you're getting an incredible outcome, equal if not better outcomes, learning from a coding school like ours. The whole point is to fulfill that demand in the job market and then learn and grow when you're on the job.
Yeah.
So that's the area I think that's ripe for the most disruption in terms of how you learn.
So, all right, so let's look at these numbers, just so people understand this is not our opinion. These are the numbers. So we're looking at a starting range of 128.5 and a mid-career of 192.3. And this is if I'm spending 4 years, and you're saying upwards to $300,000 versus 9 months and less than $15,000 for Bethel Tech.
Yeah.
And you're not the only one out there, for full disclosure.
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make here is this world is changing and changing rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, what we're seeing is that 192. I mean,
is that low?
Yeah, I mean, it's an average.
Be.
It's an average. So if you're thinking of like software development, that might be in that range. But if you're talking about cybersecurity analyst, being a data scientist, I mean, it is not uncommon to get into that 250 range whenever you're mid-career.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's real numbers right there.
Yeah.
And so does that surprise you then when we see Gallup data that says 46% of American parents would prefer their kids go into the trades?
Not at all. And I think there was another Gallup poll that showed that like there's been a drop since 2011 that 57% in 2011, 57% of parents have felt confident about putting their kids into a university. Now it's down to 36%.
Yeah.
So that equates to 3 million fewer students on college campuses over the course of the last 13 years.
And they're not just staying home.
No.
They're going to places to learn and to work.
Yeah. So there's it's a beautiful era, beautiful season that we're in terms of being able to get the learning, getting the immediately applicable skills you need to get a job.
Yeah.
And education is becoming democratized. So I think you can curate your learning journey,
right?
So that it suits what you're wanting to do, your passions, and also parlay that into a really good job that you're passionate about. And then when you're passionate about a job, then that's when you get creative, you get promotion, and it becomes a wonderful career for you. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that long ago to you and me, and because we're getting older, that Kobe Bryant and LeBron James got world headlines for going straight from high school to the NBA. I've brought this up to you before, but I think it's time to revisit it. Are you seeing trends? And if not, do you have a prediction on what I believe is going to happen? And I believe it's going to happen soon, where we're going to see more and more kids coming right out of high school going straight into technology.
Yeah.
Where is that? Enlighten me.
Yeah.
Or break my argument down.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think that one of the things that we saw whenever we had the pandemic and these seniors in high school were forced to take a gap year after they graduated, and the universities by and large were not ready for it. You would think that most universities would have online modalities, but most of them really struggled with it. It was an afterthought to their campus programs. One of the things that we saw at Bethel Tech is, our average age pre-pandemic was about, in that 25 to 30-year-old range. It was a career pivoter. Then we started getting 18-year-olds that were right out of high school that were forced to take a gap year. They would come through our program. In 9 months, they'd learn, software development, and then 3 months later, they get these $75,000 jobs. And I remember one in particular student who said to me, I would have spent 4 years and probably $250,000 trying to pursue and get exactly what I got for Bethel Tech for 36 weeks and $15,000. So that, I think, is a lot of people saw that, hey, there is another way. And then when you look at parents wanting to do what's best for their kids, not saddle them with copious amounts of student loan debt that they're going to have to spend the rest of their life trying to pay off. And then also even seeing just kind of like with the social dynamics of university campuses, programs like ours become really attractive, especially when programs like ours are focusing on the human skills, the character skills as well, which is still the most in-demand thing that companies are looking for. And even compared to digital skills, companies are wanting employees that have strong human skills.
Launch your tech career today at bethelcollege.edu/Ken.